Hello everybody, Arashi here, your coach of the Groningen Noctowls, bringing you the draft analysis for the MPL Season 7, a league I was invited to join, and I was very happy because this at least means that we'll get, the draft league train rolling till at least the summer, and I kinda enjoyed that. We had the BBL, we had the PMC, and now we're joining this league, which has a roster full of talented and amazing coaches. So we're going to try to do our best, and I drafted a team that really fits my playstyle, which, if you guys don't know already, I'm a very offensive coach and I really like to play a bit on the offensive, and that is the goal that I had when going into this draft. Now, my apologies for this draft analysis to be a little bit later. I really wished I could uploaded this last weekend, but a lot of stuff came up in between. But we're here now, and I'm going to try to keep this draft analysis about 20 minutes. But my first mon that I drafted was Mew. I really wanted to try out Mew. I never got the chance to draft Mew, and I think I was second in the draft order. So when I saw that, I really knew that that was the perfect opportunity to draft Mew. You can do a lot of stuff with Mew. You can turn it offensive. You can also do some defensive stuff like Rocky Helmet Mew. You can make it a set-upper. It can be a cleric. It can be anything. Mew can be anything, and it's one of the best mons in the draft league meta. So picking up Mew, very happy with that. We can probably do a lot of funky stuff with this Pokemon, and I'm really happy that we got Mew in our team. Next off, my Mega. We drafted Mega Beedrill, another mon I really wanted to try out, and I've been saying a lot that I'm a very offensive coach, so with that we needed a very offensive Mega. And combine all of that, I really wanted to use Mega Beedrill in that regard. So we drafted it. That speed stat is incredible. It's crazy. And the same can be said for that attack stat. Beedrill can potentially sweep, and if used right, it can actually do a lot in this league, in my honest opinion. And that is the reason why I wanted Beedrill. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun using this Mega. I've never used Mega Beedrill before. I've seen some people use it, and it was quite a threat. But, we have to see, the same thing can be said for the BBL. I was really hyped to use Tapu Lele, and then I traded off for Naganadel, and I was really hyped to use that as well. And it just didn't work out well for me in that, regard. So it could turn out the same with Mega Beedrill, but either way, I'm very happy that we got Mega Beedrill in the team. Now next off, we have our Water Electric type Rotomwash, a very bulky mon but can also be used offensively. See, if I'm going to draft some bulky mons, I really want them to be bulky, but at the same time you can use them offensively, and Rotomwash is a Pokemon that can actually do the work. And of course, levitate ability, always nice to have. And you can put a choice specs on it, you can put leftovers on it and make it a little bit more bulky. You can put like a berry on it, and Volt Switch initiative, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump, a Thunderbolt. If we're going to run an offensive Rotomwash with potentially choice spec or anything, it can deal out amazing damage. And in terms of speed, I'm not that scared. It has reasonable speed, but with Mega Beedrill we already have one fast mon, and I think Rotomwash can actually put in a lot of work. Rotomwash is a very good mon, and also a mon that I really wanted to use. And I think the main aspect of this draft is a lot of mons I haven't used before. Like, I think I've drafted one mon, which will be the next one that I've used before in the past, but in draft league competitive, not a lot. So this is going to be a very interesting season. It could turn out that we lose all of our matches because I'm playing very offensively, and people can build on that. But I'm just here to have fun. I'm here to entertain you guys, and that's why for my next pick I drafted Torkoal again. I had to draft Torkoal again. Torkoal was such a monster in the BBL that I have a policy to draft the MVP of my previous league or the previous season of that league that I want to draft it again for at least once. So, you know, using Amon 2 or 3 times in a row, and after that we can put that to rest and maybe use something else. We've used Torkoal only once in the BBL, so I thought, you know what? If we're going to, you know, use Amon from previous leagues, let's bring Torkoal in. Let's bring the Drot in. And we can potentially make that work with this team because I have one mon that can really, you know, get use of the draft of Torkoal with the Sun. And what can you say about Torkoal? Torkoal is very defensive, but if used right with the Draught, it can also potentially do some major damage in any competitive meta. It's such an amazing mon. And again, speed, I don't give a damn about speed at this point. Torkoal is an amazing mon. I've put Torkoal on the banner of my channel for a reason. It's not per se a real channel mascot, but it's definitely now way up there of my favorite mons. Mostly thanks to, you know, the draft league meta, and that's one of the reasons why I like draft leagues. You can just appreciate a mon out of nowhere. If you asked me 2 years ago, you're going to enjoy Torkoal, I would, you know, call you insane, because I was like, why would I ever love a mon like Torkoal? And here we are. I'm just an amazing fan of this mon, and hopefully it can put in the work in this season as well as it did in the BBL. Now next up we have Tareq Yun, and I forgot to mention this was a point-based draft, and I would have put slides up, but I'm not used to Photoshop and GIMP yet, so I could not really figure that out. So I was like, you know what, I'll record it on Showdown. But it was a point system draft, and well, you could figure it out with a certain points to spare. Spent on the mons, and here we are. But Tareq Yun, now I really wanted a fighting type that can also, you know, be very offensively. We really needed some speed, and Tareq Yun has some decent speed in it, and that attack stat of 129 is just amazing. Ability wise, you know, Justified can be very useful, but you know, it has all such a good move pool. And you know, I saw Tareq Yun and I was like, you know what? This one could work for my team. This one could potentially put in the work for my team. So I drafted Tareq Yun, and hopefully it can surprise me as well as Torkoal did in the BBL, because I never used Tareq Yun before. I saw people use it, and you know, it can actually put in a lot of use if used right. So hopefully Tareq Yun can do the same for me for this season in this league. So my next mon is the mon that can work well with Torkoal in the draft, and that is Shifty. I really wanted to use Shifty in a league. I really wanted to use Shifty, but you know, Shifty is not that great of a mon. You know, and ability wise, the only thing it has that can actually make it threatening is Chlorophyll, because you know, early bird of pickpocket, you're not gonna use that. You're gonna use Chlorophyll on Shifty. So with us having Torkoal in my team and having the potential to put up the Sun, I thought if we're going for a grass type to finish the water grass fire core with Rotomwash, Torkoal, and now Shifty, I would love to have Shifty on my team. It's also a dark type, which is very good to have in a draft. And with the Chlorophyll in the Sun, Shifty is a potential sweeper, late game sweeper, and Shifty is just an amazing mon, and I really wanted to use it, so I decided to draft it. I saw it was available, and you know, I did some calculating with the points that I have and the mons that I really wanted to draft later on, and I was like, you know what? If we're going to play very offensively, word of the day is offensively, ladies and gentlemen. I saw Shifty and I was like, you know, if I wanted to use it in a draft league, now is the perfect time to use it with the Torkoal in the team as well. And you know, dependable on the opponent, maybe we can bring Shifty and maybe we can do some crazy stuff. and potentially do some damage. And you can use Shifty as either a special offensive or physical offensive. So there's, very much, room for experimenting with certain sets. So I'm very happy that we got Shifty in the team, and I hope it can be the biggest surprise for my team in this league this season. So on to the second half of my draft. We picked Goodra. Now, I'm very happy with this draft. Goodra is an amazing Pokemon, and I've faced off against a lot of Goodras in the past in League Draft format. And it's such an annoying mon to face off against. And I knew if I ever get the chance to use it, I'm going to, because Goodra is an amazing mon in this meta, in my honest opinion. That special defense stat, that attack and special attack, again, you can run a physical attacking Goodra or a special attacking Goodra. You can make it very defensive. HP stat is pretty decent, and you can run an assault vest on this thing, and it can tank up a lot of hits, and it can deal out damage in return. You can put a choice band, choice packs, anything else, life orb, and this thing can actually also wreck house. Sap Sipper is very convenient with the Rotomwash and with Tareq Yun. So, and of course, also a great ability is Gooey. This mon is just very, very good in Draft League meta, and I'm very happy that we finally got a chance to use it. And again, it's a bulky mon that can also be used offensively. And as I said before, when I started this draft, I was like, okay, I know that my playstyle is offensive. I know I'm like to put pressure on my opponent. So let's draft a team that works really well with that. So if we're gonna draft a bulky mon, let's draft a bulky mon that can also deal some damage in return. And Goodra fits that, criteria perfectly. Now, Pokemon that is not necessarily bulky, it's more like very, very weak and defensive, but can hit very hard, is my next mon, and that is Diggersby. Now, Diggersby, of course, hits hard thanks to the huge power ability, and combine that with like a choice band, a choice scarf, combine that with it being a ground type, so it gets Earthquake, probably one of the best moves in the game. This thing is just a monster, and I saw it and I was like, okay, I needed a ground type. I saw Diggersby, it has the normal type as well, which is kind of annoying in terms of weaknesses, like fighting type weaknesses, which my team is pretty weak off against, if you count the Tareq Yun and also the Shifty and such. But I saw Diggersby and I was like, this mon can actually potentially, do a lot of good stuff. And I saw it and I was like, I never thought about using Diggersby before, but a lot of other ground types were gone, and I did not want to draft like Sandslash or anything. Even though I love Sandslash, I really wanted to draft a team that works well for my playstyle, and Sandslash is not really offensive. You can make it work offensively, but I saw Diggersby and I was like, this mount could potentially work. So we drafted it, and I'm going to try my best to make it work, but we'll have to see. But it is a potential powerhouse, of course, with a huge power ability. Put a choice band of life orb on, it can actually do a lot of damage. Now, next off, we also need like a fairy dragon steel core. So we already got the dragon in Goodra. So for my fairy type thing, I'm going with Comfy. Now, a lot of people will probably say Comfy is a bad mon. Probably people will say Comfy is an average mon. I wanted to use Comfy because of his ability Triage. So you have priority. It's a pure fairy type. So that's pretty decent in my honest opinion. And it's decent bulky. It's 110 special defense, 90 defense and 51 HP. Speed is pretty good, by the way. Well, decent, but I wanted to use Comfy as a fairy type, and I wanted to use it in the BBL, but Aaron said to me, like, use Aromatisse. Aromatisse works well with your team, and Aromatisse did... I think I could have used better in the BBL. But for this league, I was like, okay, now we're going to try to use Comfy and try to make it work. Because I believe that Comfy can actually put in a lot of work. It being a solo fairy typing and his Triage ability combined with like moves like Draining Kiss, Giga Drain. And I don't know if Leech Seed will work with Triage. I should look that into. But yeah, Giga Drain and the Draining Kiss with Triage. And you know, it's not that great in offensive. Like, Comfy is not a mon that you should suggest using in an offensive team. But I saw it, I wanted to use it before, didn't got a chance to use it then. Now we're going to use it, and hopefully, you know, we can actually put in a lot of work. If I'm sounding a little bit too repetitive, it's because most of the time that's how I actually feel. I'm not that, you know, very big with words to describe how I want to use my Pokemon now. It's just go with the flow. I'm always go with the flow. But we needed a Steel type, and I saw Togedemaru, and I say, you know what? Togedemaru looks like a fun gimmick mon to use. Let's use it. You know, ability-wise, it's pretty good. It has pretty good abilities. It has Iron Barbs, so you're gonna hit it, you're gonna take some damage. Lightning Rod, Electric types, can't hit my team. Sturdy, could potentially do some crazy shenanigans with that. And, you know, its stats-wise, it's not the best. It's decent, but, you know, one Earthquake and poof, gone. Unless you use Sturdy, of course, but hey. Speed-wise, not that great for an electric type. But you know, I think it gets Nuzzle. It gets Nuzzle, so you could potentially paralyze your opponent. Spiky Shield, which is very good. Super Fang. It has U-turn, so you could potentially also U-turn out. It has Wish, so who knows what kind of crazy shenanigans we can do with that. Sing Sap with 30% chance to flinch the target. So it's a decent mon. It's not that great, but its moveset, its move pool is pretty, you know, variable. Variable, is that a word? You can do a lot with Togedemaru in that regard. You can potentially surprise your opponent, and I love to surprise my opponents with some crazy sets. And Togedemaru, it also depends on my opponent, of course, if we're going to bring Togedemaru. But you know, it's a fun mon to have on the team, and who knows? I said it before. I said in the last draft analysis I did for the BBL, like, okay, we drafted Torkoal, I wanted the fire type, we drafted Torkoal, let's see how it does. Boom, more than 14 or 13 kills in the BBL, so who knows, maybe Togedemaru at the end of the season will have 10 kills, you don't know that. And our last mon, the 11th mon of the Groningen Noctowls for the MPL is Drifblim. Now, I wanted a Ghost type on my team. I didn't think I had a Ghost type before. Flying type. I don't think Mega Beedrill is Poison Bug, right? Yeah, so we didn't have a Flying type as well. So I was like, okay. I was looking at the points because at this point we didn't have a lot of points left. And I saw Drifblim before and I was like, Can I potentially do something with Drifblim? Now, Aftermath is a pretty good ability to have, and then I saw that it also gets Unburden. Now, I love Unburden as ability. I've used it before on my Hitmonlee, and oh boy, that one thing is a monster if used right. But and it also has Flare Blue, so we can potentially put a Flame Orb on it and do some crazy shenanigans with that. But I saw Unburden. Aftermath is pretty good as well. And its HP, it's pretty bulky. It can be pretty bulky. Its defense, its special defense stat is not all that great, but with the HP, it is pretty bulky. And I don't know. I saw Driftblim again. Most of the times if I go into the draft, I go with the flow. I have a plan ready, and then once the draft is actually started, we go in the cruise control mode and just draft whatever I see and ever I feel like using at that point. And Driftblim was a mon I was like, okay, that is a mon that has some, it also has Baton Pass, which I think is illegal in this league. I have to, check that out. I forgot about that. But it gets Pain Split, it gets Tailwind, Trick, Will-O-Wisp, it gets a lot of crazy moves that I can use it with. Plus, Driftblim is one of my sea captains. Because if we're going to do some crazy stuff with Driftblim, the best thing to use it is with a sea crystal. Now the other sea crystal is Mew. So we have Mew and Driftblim as our sea captains. Because if we're going to use sea crystal on Mew, we can potentially also do some crazy stuff. And that is basically my whole squad. As you can see, I have the squad here as well. We have Mew, Mega Beedrill, Rotomwash, Torkoal, Tareq Yun, Shifty, Goodra, Diggersby, Comfy, Togedemaru, and Driftblim. Not a team that a lot of people will be like, that's going to win the league. It's a really weird team if you look at it, but if you, in my honest opinion, if you see my playstyle, I think this team works really well for me. And a lot of mons, I will probably maybe be like, okay, it's a failed experiment. A lot of other mons are probably maybe gonna work out for me. I have really high hopes for using Goodra. Torkoal, we've used that thing before last season. It actually ran house. Diggersby is some fun mon that we can use this season. We have the Mega Beedrill, potentially Shifty. I like this team. And maybe we're not going to be, on the positive note at the end of the season. Maybe we will be like 4-5 in the league, or maybe even lower, 2-6. I don't know that. But in the end, I want to have fun. I want to use mons that I enjoy, and I want to give you guys the most entertaining matches with the most entertaining commentary and so forward. So hopefully we can do that with this team in this season. It's a new league for me. A lot of people that I know in this league as a coach, a lot of people that I don't know, and I'm going to face off against. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be difficult because I think this league is like another step higher when it comes to the difficulty level, because as I said before, there are a lot of good coaches in this league, a lot of talented coaches in this league, so they're going to bring their A game and I have to bring my A game as well, and at the same time having fun. So yeah, that's my draft analysis. I think I've done pretty well to keep this draft analysis as short as possible, because I want to upload this after the PMC quarterfinals match, which is already uploaded on the channel as we speak. So I'm going to end it off here. If you're hyped for the MPL Season 7 for the Groningen Noctowls, don't forget to hit a like button, comment, share this video with others, slash the subscribe button down below, and hit that bell icon, because then you get notified every time I upload a new video, and that is sincerely appreciated. Tomorrow, at the time that I'm recording this, I will upload a week 1 as we take on Root Coach of the New York Brobats, and I will be posting my MPL matches with post commentary, and maybe on certain occasion I will try to do live commentary, but due to time zones it's very hard for me to record a match live when it's like 12 AM my time, if that makes any sense. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this draft analysis, and I will see you guys in the next video for the Groningen Noctowls.